Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update on a day where we saw S&P 500 moving higher. New all-time high and new all-time close, meaning it cancelled this potential top and reversal pattern, didn't even test the support at 5,030. If we zoom in a little bit, we can see how it has developed. We were still above the rising trend line here, as we talked about over the past few days. 5,185 is the 138 of the latest little correction here. But it seems like we are destined for a move towards 5,200, potentially higher. And as I said many times before, the trend is your friend, so stay until we have confirmation for the market doing the opposite. Also, Nasdaq 100 higher yesterday, just taking it out with a few cents. Potential to above 18,535, potentially higher, despite having this divergence here. And we have to. It's just a warning. It's not a reversal. It's just a warning that we are a bit stressed, but the market can be in divergence or in balance for quite some time. So it's just a warning sign we need to keep an eye on. We have the EUROSTOXX 50 that reached 100% of this extension here, so it's actually now the same. It has traveled the same distance as this move here, and we have extended upwards. So sorry about that, just jumped a little bit there. So that's where we are now. We could still test 5,000, and it is not unlikely it could happen today. We are just 20 points from it. Also DAX higher. Yesterday, new all-time high close, very close to the 18,000, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in coming days. But again, keep an eye on the RSI here. That is, yes, we are in a positive sentiment. It's also quite stretched, but as long as we are moving higher and we are still above the gap, then I'm fairly okay. Now, if I was long DAX, I would put my stop here to yesterday's low at 17,619. If that is being taken out, well, then I feel confident we will see a move down to around this gap area here. But for now, trend is intact. The bullish trend is intact. And after some sideways trading here the past few weeks on the AEX Amsterdam Index, we pushed higher, 870, should see it to 75, 80 level. That would be 200% of this little correction here. So fairly strong trend there, despite having divergence. You can see much lower here than over here, the values, but it's broken the falling trend line, so that could be an indication of higher levels. It is primarily pushed higher by ASML, that semiconductor is pushing higher. Also CAC 40, now about above 8,000, could push a little bit higher. This is the key level, again, the key support here, but 8,100, and again, stay on the trend. As we speak, we have SMI testing the 11,616 resistance, and if we just move into the very quickly the weekly chart, we can see there's also some resistance, 11,730. It's not that strong. It's more like a guideline, really, but we are in a bullish trend, and after breaking back above 60 here on the daily, as you can see, and above the falling trend line, there is further potential to the upside for SMI. A lot of action happening occurred in the FX market yesterday. We saw euro-dollar taking out 109, very close to the 61.8 at 109.70. But I think we will see a spike up to 110, and this area could be key. That we could see a little bit of a setback because we need to drag the 55 moving average higher. However, we are in a positive sentiment with the RSI, so we should see higher levels on euro-dollar in coming weeks. Cable is pushing very close to the 128.28 previous peak here back from December. I think we will take it out. It is supported by the positive RSI and a push towards 129, 129.45 in coming weeks. It seems to be in the cards. Of course, there will be some corrections. Don't worry about that, but there will be some corrections, no question. Then we have dollar yen. Just around the 100 moving average, just above, spiked below a couple of times, reached the 61.8 retracement there at 147.80. We could see a dip down to 786 retracement at 146.95. It is in the cards with the negative sentiment on the RSI. So I think we'll see that, and then I think we'll see a bounce. I'm not quite sure we'll get all the way down to around 146. Really strong support. Euro yen, on the other hand, bounced strongly yesterday, closed strongly after spiking below 161. Seems like they are trying to have another go towards the 161, but it's I think the strength selling pressure is fizzling a little bit. We're still in positive sentiment. There's no divergence. We should see it pushing around, but it seems like there's really a band between also here the euro and the yen at the moment. Which way should we go? Aussie yen, still range bound, very close to breaking 98.20 resistance. That's the key level to break to the upside, and then I think we will see higher levels if that occurs, and 97.34 on the downside. Aussie dollar has also been on a move, and as we speak, we are above 66.25 resistance. Still in the here below the cloud, but we are in a positive sentiment, and we have the 55 moving average also above that, but it's declining. So I would expect a little bit of a move up to around 66.5, and then a little bit of a setback before the potential to try to do the next push. Dollar Canada, it really broke the lower rising trend line in this wedge-like pattern here, down to selling off below the 200. Just around the 55 moving average and support at 134.40. If it can push lower, then we are looking at 133.58, around that level, 58.60 level. We are still in a positive sentiment, hasn't broken below 40, so there could be a potential rebound. But let's see. We are on a knife's edge right there on dollar Canada at the moment. Then on the dollar index, took out 103.12 support, has reached almost 50% of this uptrend here. We could see a push down to the 61.8 at 102, around 102 level. We are in a negative sentiment, so that is really in the cards for the dollar index. And we have all moving averages, not all, but sorry, the 100 and the 200 declining, and give it a couple of days into mid next week, we will see 100 dropping below the 200. 55 still rising, but at the moment it is there is negative sentiment. Gold is ticking higher, and 2,172 very close to be reached. But I think we will see it to 21.95, spiking possibly up to 2,200. But we are getting closer and closer to getting a little bit of correction. We have about a week's trading days with upticks. So it is a little bit stretched, but we are in a strong bullish trend. We are likely to move higher. Silver catching up now. Really taking off after breaking the 24 level, and after breaking above the cloud, there is potential up to around 26 in the coming weeks. Palladium, we talked about it yesterday, pausing a little bit, but I would say 1100, possibly around 1127, seems to be in the cards after this shoulder head shoulder or inverted shoulder head shoulder pattern confirmation where we had the neckline here. So it is in the cards to move higher. A little bit of a setback before a next upwards move. Keep an eye on platinum. It's not really moving much, but it did found a base down here just around the 870. could be building an uptrend, but it's still below the cloud, still below all moving averages. So in this region here, and we still need to have this RSI 60 to be broken. But for now, it's not. But keep an eye on. Suddenly, maybe they are also investors are also looking at platinum. Oil is still trying really to get a momentum together, and it can't really get it. I think we will still get it eventually, but it is really struggling, as we said. So not much to talk about there really. Same here with Brent taking a little bit higher today, but still we are below the 84.75. On the other hand, then we have the Henry Hub natural gas, and what we talked about yesterday. Resuming downtrend, taking out minor support here at 181. We are likely to see natural gas pushing lower towards 150 again, these lows here. It was almost a 786 correction, so that's it. I think we will move lower on Henry Hub gas here the next couple of days going into next week. Finally, on the US Treasury yields, the 10-year drop below the 411 minor support. Now it's at 407. Could drop down to around 4%, which is also the 61.8 retracement and the lower part of the cloud. But look out for this. What we have U.S. unemployment numbers later today. That could maybe start a little bit of party in each direction, to be honest. So let's see about that. Keep an eye on that later today. All right, that's all for today. A lot of stuff happening on the market. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend when you get there, and happy trading as usual.